Okay, so I have an awful lot to cover in this video, much more than what's just in the title and the thumbnail. There are more developments in the Joe Hawley hacking situation, and as of today, it is no longer over. It sucks that my last video is already out of date, but what can you do? In this video, I have more updates to share with you, including a hidden in the sand post, the supposed hacker themselves coming out about it, and even a conversation that I had with this hacker. And let me tell you, some of the stuff that they showed me is, to be blunt, terrifying. And this is info that nobody else has, so I really recommend you stick around because it is useful stuff. But let's not waste any more time. The post that they made was to Reddit earlier today. It's titled, "To Joe Hawley and the Tally Hall Community. I want to sincerely apologize for what I've done. In trying to bring the music back to Spotify, I crossed a boundary that I now fully realize should never have been crossed. It was wrong and I take full responsibility for my actions." Now this is a ding 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 if I've ever heard one, and exactly what I said in my video. Just because they might think that they're doing the right thing, i.e. a good hacker, it's not their decision to decide that. I live with schizophrenia, and sometimes it makes me feel an intense connection to the things that I care deeply about, like Joe's work. That connection became unhealthy and led to a decision that I deeply regret. This doesn't excuse what I did in a way, but I wanted to share the context behind my actions, even if it's still hard to admit. I don't have much of a comment here. I think this paragraph is fair, and at least they are taking accountability in some sense. But like I said, I've had a much more in-depth conversation with them, and we'll get to that later, because what they said to me isn't exactly what they said in this apology. I will be taking down the songs we uploaded because it wasn't our place to share them. If it wasn't Joe's choice, it shouldn't have been ours either. And this is also right on the money. The songs have already been taken down from YouTube Music, but removing them from Spotify and the other streaming platforms will take longer. As of now, they are still there, but this likely won't be for too long. To Joe and the Tally Hall community, I'm truly sorry for the harm I've caused. My actions come from a place of admiration, but I see now that I went about things in the worst way. I've learned from this, and I'll work to make sure that I never let my emotions lead me down this path again. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I hope in time you can forgive me. The songs will take some time to be taken down, so enjoy them while they are up. Also, we are not related to the murder drone thing or previous hacks. And this is the kicker. Clarifying that these guys aren't the same as some of the other hacks is genuinely an important detail. As I mentioned in my video, uploading Joe's actual work is very different to uploading offensive or harmful or fake content. It's still wrong, but I think my term of good hacker still stands true in a sense. And now the question that you're all wanting answers to, is it true? How do we actually know that this is the hacker, because they didn't provide any proof in this post? But like I mentioned, they have reached out to me and they provided definitely enough proof to show me that it was them. But let's start at the top. The first way to know if they're telling the truth is if the songs get taken down later on. And I'm pretty sure that this will happen within the next week, but it might take different amounts of time for different streaming platforms. Also, as a side note, I missed some mistakes in my last video. The most obvious of which being a misspelling of the backwards "your mother is a basketball." But they also got Joe's name wrong by typing just Joe Hawley instead of Joseph Hawley, which is what it's usually under. And also had issues with the capitalization of the album. Basically, it was a bit of a shit show. A couple of these things were covered in the blog post of Hidden in the Sands, who, to their credit, did still believe that these songs were hacked on, even though a couple of their points were out of date. And on top of that, we've also heard from the apparent friend, who I've come to learn is kind of the one that did most of this stuff. Their Reddit account is other guy who did it, a little on the nose but sure, and he did provide a little bit of proof. These are some receipts from the DistroKid distributor confirming that the changes, i.e. uploads of songs, had been made. And I can pretty much confirm to you right now that these are real. And finally, the JRH fraudster himself reached out to me directly. They also reached out to a member of the Hidden in the Sand staff, but I don't think much happened there. I, on the other hand, kind of wanted to get more information from this, and I think I'm glad that I did that, because I was able to ask them a couple questions, the first of which being proof that they had done it. And we ended up on a voice call to clarify things. I would show you it, but they asked me not to record it because they were about to show a lot of personal information, and at the time I didn't fully understand the extent of what they were telling me. But yeah, I have no recording, so you're gonna need to take my word on this. The first thing they did was prove to me that it was them that uploaded the songs, and I can confidently say that that is true. They did do this. I also believe that they aren't the people who hacked previously. Their whole goal in what they do is apparently to keep people's information safe by finding holes in security. The fraudster called their friend a white hat hacker, which is a phrase that you're probably familiar with, but they labeled themselves as a morally grey. Take of that what you will. Those two guys have contacted the Tally Hall members through their phone numbers, which they found, and they got a response from Joe and Andrew, but it didn't really go anywhere. They showed me an awful lot of passwords for an awful lot of accounts for every single Tally Hall member, including Bora, and they claim that they have reached out to them to make sure that they don't use these passwords anymore, but I can't confirm that. They have Snapchats, WhatsApps, etc. They even have the WhatsApp profile pictures, which are apparently nowhere else on the internet. And I can't confirm that Joe is topless in his profile picture. Sorry, my hair is like crazy right now. I'm not really sure what to do with it, to be honest. The fraudster is also quite into artificial intelligence, and they showed me some music that they made with AI trying to replicate Joe Hawley. And dude, it was like shockingly good. And you also might have noticed that the profile picture of their account is an AI generated image of Joe Hawley. And it's not just the tallies either. They've also collected a lot of data on other people who you definitely know. And they even specifically mentioned that they're trying to get enough info of Andrew Tate so that they can use it as blackmail. Do with that what you will. But dude, they got his passwords, they've got fucking Call Me Carson and Marquez Brownlee and shit. But they did check out me, and they couldn't find any leaks anywhere, and they couldn't find my personal email, so fuck you guys. And they have submitted the request to take down the songs from streaming platforms, but it will take time. And it'll take varying amounts of time for the different platforms. I think Amazon Music will have it for the longest. So yeah, you guys can enjoy. Spotify probably won't have it for too much longer. Now personally, I don't think that these guys will do anything malicious with the information, but whether or not they should have it is a very different question. question. And quite frankly, I'm tired. Hopefully this information is useful to you and to the tally hole community. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Crazy times we live in, bro.